Welcome to Chinwag Tuesdays, your passport to a world of language and culture.
Hi everyone, welcome to my very first episode of Chinwag Tuesdays, where I'm just going to be having a little bit of a chit chat with other native English speakers, Australians, people learning English. But for today's first episode, I have the absolute pleasure to interview my friend Hanna. She is a native American English speaker, another ESL teacher. She is fluent in Spanish and learning Mandarin. All right, so welcome.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I could not believe that I'm on the first episode. I think that's so cool. Oh, it's a thrill. It's great. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, yes, of course. Just for a bit of background for everyone watching, I started my Instagram back in April. Hanna, I think you're one of the first teachers I found on Instagram and started following. Wow. And it wasn't until maybe, I don't even know how many months in or how long into it, I realized that we both teach on Amazing Talker. And that's when I reached out to you and I was like, oh, you were just a wealth of knowledge and I've learned so much from you. So thank you so much.
It's a really big honor because I was like, wow, I don't see Amazing Talker teachers on Instagram, on social media, not that many. So.
No, before I started Instagram, I tried dipping my toes into Chinese social media. I know that there's a lot of Amazing Talker teachers on there, but I just struggled to kind of get started. And I was like, oh, I'll just try Instagram instead. And I'm glad I did because it's been really good for me. So
hey, there you go. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
All right. So how about we get started by you just introducing yourself? Tell us about Hanna.
Oh my God. Okay. So you could say that I am just so passionate about just learning in general, but not everything, right? My whole life, I've been super multi-passionate and just oh, I want to be an engineer. Oh, I want to be a home designer. Oh, I want to be a biologist. I couldn't figure out my life. Pandemic happens, right? Of course, messes up everyone's life, or maybe just gives everyone a boost or destroys people's lives. I'm over here. I'm like, what do? I need a job. So I was applying to restaurants, grocery stores, banks, and rejection. I'm like, why? I have great grades. I did all this volunteer work, this and that. I should be amazing for these places. So I'm like, what do I do? My mom says, okay, why don't you try this? My friend, her daughter was doing engineering, but she quit engineering to be an ESL teacher. Okay, so you try that. I was like, okay, I'll try it. I don't know if I'll like it. Okay. She was like, you could teach Spanish and you could teach English. Because by that time, I did 4 years of Spanish. I took classes of Spanish for 4 years. Okay, I know the concept of learning a language. I could do it. I'll try it. Let's see how it goes. So I love learning Spanish. I love relating words with each other and figuring out how to express myself. And I was even using Spanish with clients from my mom's family business. I was like, oh my God, this is cool. And impressing people because I don't look Mexican. People are like, wow, your Spanish is really good. Where are you from? I'm from here. I'm from the United States. I've never been to Mexico. They're like, oh, wow. I love that feeling. So I took that. And when I started on Amazing Talker is based in Taiwan. So I get a lot of students in Taiwan. And my mentor, she tells me, you should just get some basics of Mandarin, Korean, and Japanese. I was like, wait, all at the same time? She's like, yeah, you do it. I'm like, I don't know what you think I am, but okay, I'm going to just pull all these up on Duolingo. Let's see how this goes. I don't know what. And so that happens. And I'm like, forget Japanese, forget Korean. I can't do all the three at the same time. That's crazy. Yeah. I don't know what. So yeah, I stick with Mandarin. And so I love learning Mandarin. I've been learning it for 2 years. I'm using Spanish 50%, not even 50%. I'll just say 30% of the time recently. Juggling all that is so difficult. Here I am teaching English, American English, to mainly students in Taiwan, mainly in Korea and Hong Kong. So it's cool. I love it. It's I live for this. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to do this.
That's amazing. What's the time there now?
6:39 a.m.
Oh goodness, you were just bright and bubbly for 6:30 in the morning.
I already
I
had two
love it.
classes before you. Love it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, look at you. And so what time do you normally finish if you start at 4, if you get up at 4:30?
So I have like morning classes and like night classes. So I finish my morning classes at like 9 and I start my afternoon classes at like 4. I have like that gap.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I was actually going to ask what made you start learning Mandarin, but you already answered it in the introduction.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So you just started on Duolingo.
I did, and it was not good. I mean, like it was
I was
fun
going to
in the
ask that.
beginning, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so I was making so much progress. I was learning all these words and like, oh, how to say this sentence. And oh, I even know how to ask for someone's phone number. Okay, I'm going to show this off. Let's see. I'm going to tell my student I learned a sentence. Let me see. Oh, hey, like, can I practice with you? I learned a sentence. Can I see if it sounds right? Like, okay, yeah. Oh, hey. 你的电话号码是多少? And then they're like, I mean, it's good, but like, it doesn't really say that. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? What do you mean? I've learned that. Like, it's on Duolingo. Like, and they say, I mean, it sounds really old. Like, it sounds like it's too formal, too textbook.
Oh,
you know. I'm like, oh, come on. So, like, how about this too? This other sentence, and like, they're like, don't say that. It doesn't sound good. You don't really sound like a native. I'm like, I've wasted like months of Duolingo time. What? I don't even know why I'm doing this. I got so depressed. Like, man, what do I do now? Because I love self-teaching. I was like, I don't have money for classes. At the time, I didn't have money for classes. So I'm like, I'm going to teach myself. No problem.
Yeah.
There's plenty of resources online, like YouTube videos and like websites, whatever, apps. I tried like apps for like learning through stories. I tried music. Oh, guess what? I watched a YouTube video. Don't learn Mandarin through music because the tones, they don't have tones in the music. Oh my God. So what do I use? You can use movies. Oh, but Beijing Mandarin is different than Taiwan Mandarin. I'm like, what?
Oh my goodness.
So I'm learning Beijing Mandarin, and like my students are telling me, oh, you sound like you have a Beijing accent. I'm like, is that bad? They say, no, I mean, like, it's up to you, but the Beijing accent is so like hard, so rigid. It's like more mean. Sounds more like, yeah, do Taiwan Mandarin. I'm like, oh, what's the difference? They say it's more sweet. Like it's more like kind. It's more gentle. I'm like, oh my God. Change directions like left and right. And like, okay, this is the solution. No. Okay. Like, what do I do? Big struggle.
I started learning Hindi. I was the same, like, but I think I overwhelmed myself because I was like, I wasn't working at that time. It was again during COVID. I wasn't allowed to work because of visa restrictions. And I'm like, I'm just going to study Hindi all day. And so like I was using like 5 different websites, all these different apps, and just trying to do bits and pieces from everything. And then in the end, I was like, I'm just feeling so overwhelmed. Like, where do I start? Duolingo I found was really great if you're learning like script. I'm pretty sure Mandarin, you've script writing. So like in Hindi, we've got the script writing. So I found it really good for like teaching myself the script, but the sentences itself, unless you know some of the basic grammar, which I learned through a textbook, it was really hard to kind of get started on Duolingo because you need to have a little bit of base knowledge. That's what I found anyway with it.
True.
But I stopped it for a couple of years. I've just restarted this year. It's my goal to kind of be consistent this year with Hindi. And what you were saying before about some words being like really different is in Hindi, there's no word for toes. They're called foot fingers. So the like actual word, the actual word is like, the context is like perka ungli, which is like foot, like fingers of the feet, basically. And then I was like, it's so confusing because, you know, when you have to like fill in the, like, you know, it tells you the sentence and you have to punch in the English sentence. And the word toes and fingers were there. So I put there like the toes are red, and it was wrong because the answer was the foot fingers are red. So yeah, it's just like understanding those kinds of like nuances of a language. It's so hard sometimes.
It is, you know, and like knowing what I'm struggling with right now. I'm not really struggling, but I'm just to like need someone to tell me or something. Like knowing if this phrase sounds like too friendly or too like formal. I don't know. I don't know how to tell the difference between those. I just have to listen in context. So watching more like shows. But I don't have time for shows. I don't really want to do that. And you know, so and then I'm listening to podcasts. I only know like 0.5% of what they're talking about. Like I can catch a word. Oh, I know that word. What are they talking about? They're talking about a movie. Oh, okay. Oh, they're talking about like their dogs. I don't know what, but
that kind of leads into the next question. What are some struggles that you have or that you've dealt with before in the past of learning a language that people who are learning English can relate to?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I know like staying consistent is still a big thing for me.
Hard
and I know my students is like, what? Like I say like, oh yeah, 10 minutes a day. Easy. I can do 10 minutes a day.
Yeah, that's me. It's just 5 minutes a day. It's really not much. And here I am struggling to get 5 minutes a day in.
Yeah, because I'm like, what's 5 minutes gonna do? Okay, I got 5 minutes to figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm like,
yes.
Okay. Like, what do I do? Do I listen to this podcast? Do I listen to this music? Do I like chat with my friend? Do I like, I don't know what to do? Watch my class recording? I don't know. So by the time I figure that out, I'm like, forget it. So staying consistent is huge. I know that's the solution. I tell my students, every day, like you can do it, just easy, just send me a recording. All you got to do is tell me what you're doing, what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Easy, simple, like do that every day and you'll be good. Hypocrite. Like what?
Oh, I relate to that so much. I just changed Hindi teachers a couple of weeks ago. I had a trial with a new one. And like she was great. Her teaching style is exactly how I teach. And it was so funny because one question I normally tell my students is that, you know, pick something you're interested in. Like if you are interested in, I think one student of mine said she was interested in knitting. I was like, all right, have a look at English knitting videos on YouTube. Use keywords like Australian knitting or something like that. Yeah. And then that way you're watching things that you're interested in rather than forcing yourself to watch something or listen to something that you're not interested in, right? My Hindi teacher gave me the exact same advice and I was laughing. I was like, shit, man, like this is what I tell my students. I know this stuff.
Right.
She's like, you like gym, just watch gym videos in Hindi on YouTube. I was like, yeah, but time.
Oh my gosh, it takes so much effort to like figure out what they're saying, and you would just much rather just do it in native language, easy, simple, like get it done.
And I'm so indecisive. It takes me like 20 minutes to find a video that I like. So
yeah, because like maybe it's too slow or maybe the accent like or like I don't know, it's so a headache sometimes. I know.
Sorry, anyway, I distracted you. So yes, consistency is one struggle. What else?
Right. Honestly, that finding a good teacher, you know, I was all over Amazing Talker and I took trials. These teachers, I told them very explicitly, I don't know like Mandarin. I'm a beginner. I told explicitly, I am a beginner, so please know that before we have this trial. I go on the trial and they're talking to me in pure Mandarin, but no hand signals, no pictures, because I love TPRS, total physical response storytelling. That's great. That's what my teacher now does. But before that, these teachers, they're just like, I'm like, I didn't even know how to say, like, I don't understand. I didn't know how to say, I just, in English, I was like, pressure, heart pumping. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, what do you want me to say? And they say, oh, this is this, this is this, this is that. I say, okay, I got it. And so, I'm like, what do you want me to do? I don't know. So I was so nervous. And that happened again and again. I was like, I'm an idiot. I'm an actual idiot. Like, because they expect me to be this level. So I should be that level. Because I told them, I'll admit, I told them, they asked me, how long have you been learning? I say, it's been like 6 months. So for them, 6 months, I guess, it's like, you should know this, that.
Yeah.
Not about the time. Not about the time.
Yeah.
could be learning a language for like 5 years and still not know what to say. So
Yeah.
I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. I felt humiliated. They didn't do that
Yeah.
on purpose. That's just the style. That's just the culture.
Yeah.
But I didn't take it that way. I took it personal. I just quit. I was like, I forget this. Why am I doing this? So
Yeah.
yeah, and finally the heavens open and the sun was shining on the perfect teacher. I was like, oh my God. I took the trial. She's like perfect. Like she's a better teacher than I am. I don't know why she's getting paid less than I am. You know, I feel guilty because I want to pay her so much more.
Yeah. It was kind of opposite. So I started learning Hindi through a language school. After I was self-teaching, I was like, I need more guidance. I need someone to answer. I have a lot of questions. I need to know why everything is a certain way. Explain to me this. Why is this happening? Why is that? My husband's just useless, like, because he doesn't understand like the basics, the grammar structure and everything. It's like, I ask him a question. Why is it like this? Just how it is. And I'm like, that's not helpful. Yeah. And so I started with the language school for like maybe 2 years. And then I stopped because it started to get really expensive. And I finished the course anyway. It was a beginner's course. So then I was like looking on Amazing Talker for Hindi teachers. And I found a good one, but she was like a little bit expensive because at that time I just started on Amazing Talker. I wasn't making much money. And then I have found like I've trialed a couple of other teachers, but I was really specific in that I just wanted conversational Hindi and reading comprehension. Like my grammar is okay. I just need to be corrected when talking. I need talking practice. And a couple of trials I went in and they were like getting me to read like textbooks and do textbook Hindi and like read like dialogues from the textbook. And I was like, no, like ask me discussion questions, ask me topics, like talk to me about different things. And I finally found this new teacher. Like she came to class last lesson and she like typed in a dialogue in the chat box, and it was actually the introduction to my last YouTube video that I did in English. And she's like, let's do this in Hindi. So she actually got the transcript from my YouTube video.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh my God, this is what I need. Yeah. So I was really happy about that. So she was a brand new teacher. I got her, she's on Preply. So she was like brand new, no reviews. And I'm like, look, I'll just take a chance. Someone took a chance on me when I was a new teacher. So I'll take a chance on her. She's a new teacher and maybe I'll get lucky. And thank God I did.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, something different. And we never know until we try that, you know, because when I first started, I didn't know what kind of teacher I wanted. I didn't know how to even learn Mandarin because Mandarin is such a different language than Spanish. Spanish has a lot of similarities to English. So I was able to like use the same kind of logic in learning that. I thought I was going to be able to use the techniques I use with Spanish and apply that to Mandarin. Oh, no. No,
really?
I could not.
Was that different?
It was so different because I don't want to learn how to write in Mandarin. I don't want to learn how to write that. What helped me so much in Spanish was I wrote a lot. I wrote that like pen to paper kind of application and highlight and circle and make a picture and all this. I don't want to like figure out how to write the character because there's a very specific way, you know, the strokes and this and that. No, forget it. So I just do text, but I know that like typing is not, it doesn't like sink in the mind the same. So I have this Google Doc where I do that all text and I just try to use that speaking. Then it helps me remember. Oh my God. Yeah. It's still hard. It's still really hard.
Yeah. It's tough. Well, you know, shout out to like all our students that are out there, or not even just our students, anyone learning another language, because it is damn difficult.
Yeah. I feel so bad for my students that say like, oh, my English is bad. Like, if your English is bad, then my Mandarin is like below horrible.
I know, yeah. Do you find though that now you're able, like you have a bit of a grasp on the language, that it's helping you be a better teacher, like in your classes, especially with your Taiwanese students?
Yes, 100%, because several things. Number one, I have the empathy because I know how different it is. Yeah. I feel like I always had patience before learning Mandarin, but I still think that after learning, like, well, not after, I haven't finished. While learning Mandarin,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I know why you make that mistake because it's Chinglish. It's Chinglish.
Yes, we have English.
English,
Hindi
really?
English.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know. And they're like, oh. And before I was like, why is everyone making this mistake? Like, okay, it's there are 5 people, not there have 5 people. But then after learning, I'm like, oh, that's a Chinglish and 哪有5个人. So like, yeah, that's one thing. And I'm able to like, another thing is repetition. I know that it takes so many repetitions of the same phrase or the same word to like really let that sink in. My students beat themselves up. They're like, oh, I forgot. No. Oh. And they think they're so stupid. I'm like, no, I've been there. I know what you're feeling right now because I was like, you would say that I'm so stupid. No, you are not stupid. Okay. You are smart. It's my teaching too. It's not always the student's fault. It's teacher's fault. I take responsibility. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I didn't explain that well. Maybe I need to add a picture. Maybe I need to like do more like situation, context, dialogue, little short dialogue, A, B. I need to extend that. So I'm like, don't worry. I'll give you another example. But I got you. It didn't really sink in.
Yeah.
Okay. So that helps a lot for sure.
Yeah, I don't have too many Indian students actually, but when I do, it kind of does help because I can put it into context that way as well. Like with the limited Hindi, I know like this is how you would say it, or you would use this word to pronounce this sound and stuff like that. And it does help. But yeah, I don't have too many Indian students to use those skills, but I get questions on Instagram from like Indians quite a lot who ask about different things. So I can explain it then in that kind of context. So that's cool. It's nice to be able to do that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Okay. So let's jump into your assumptions of Australia. What are some things that you just thought about Australia? And I will tell you if they're right or wrong. Because I know that like in the States, there's like this assumption that we ride kangaroos to school and there's these like killer bears that drop out of the trees called drop bears. Neither of those things are true, by the way. So what else have you heard?
Yes. Oh my God, the kangaroo thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can relate to that because I'm in Texas. People like, oh, do you ride a horse? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Okay. So the first thing I have is like, it's so easy to get a sunburn, especially in the summer. Is that true?
Yeah, that's actually true. That is because I don't know why the UV rays are just like killer in Australia. I could be in 35 degrees in Australia 1 hour without sunscreen and I am red. In India, 35 degrees, 40 degrees all day, not really all day, but a few hours with no sunscreen on, not even brown. So yeah, you can get really sunburnt very quickly. So like there is a marketing campaign. There was one when I was a child. It's still going, but it was called Slip, Slop, Slap. So alliteration, slip on a t-shirt, slop on some sunscreen, slap on a hat. Now they've added slide on some sunnies and seek shade.
Sunnies. Wait.
Yeah, sunglasses.
Sunnies. Slide on.
Oh yeah, I've got my sunnies too. Slide on the sunnies. Yes. So yeah, that actually is true. That is a very, very true assumption. Yeah, that you get really sunburnt there. And my parents' generation, no skin, like no sun awareness, no sun safety. You would have tradesmen like builders working outside wearing just shorts, no t-shirt. And like that generation has like a huge level of sun cancer. Or like my dad had just recently, both my parents have had skin spots cut out of their like face or on their body just because there was no like awareness of the sun dangers when they were younger.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't know about that skin cancer.
Yeah.
Oh my
Don't
gosh.
fry yourself with coconut oil outside in the sun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's true. My mom says the same thing. She would put like some kind of oil so that she could really get a really good tan when she was in Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, no, sounds so good.
I don't leave the house now. I work in this office with my curtains open and I wear sunscreen inside because of like indirect sunlight. I wear sunscreen all the time now.
Yeah, I started doing that. Like I have my, where is it? I don't even use it anymore because it's winter. I'm like, but I should wear it in the winter actually. I guess I'm just lazy. And it's harder to apply my makeup. I care more about my makeup than my actual health in the world.
For that reason, I bought spray sunscreen so I could spray it after.
Oh, that's smart. I might switch to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Second one I have is like, people have a lot of respect for the indigenous people, but I don't know. Maybe the history of that is like, it wasn't too much, but I'm not sure about that. I really don't know too much about it.
Nowadays, yes, it's becoming much more recognized about Indigenous culture and like recognizing the impact colonization had on them, because Australian Indigenous community is one of the, or culture is one of the longest or oldest ongoing cultures in the world. It's been around for like 65,000 years. So it's one of the longest ongoing cultures, but white Australia has only been around since 1788. So it actually has one of the most recent histories, if you think of recent Australian history and culture. Australia had a really racist past too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of countries did, but they don't really like talking about it. 26th of January is a day that was created to celebrate the creation of white Australia or Australia. Basically, it's celebrating colonization, if we can put it at that as such. So every year there's more and more kind of protests happening to change the date and have the 26th as a memorial kind of remembrance day for the Indigenous community because of what they suffered and went through because of colonization, and to have a separate day to celebrate Australia as a multicultural nation. So that's 26th of January, and it's just coming up now. You see both sides of the news, people that are like, let's just celebrate Australia. Why do we have to change the date? But not really kind of recognizing the impact. Why do we need to pay for what our ancestors did hundreds of years ago? In the recent years, yes, there has been a lot more kind of, a lot more things have been done to recognize the Indigenous people in Australia, because a lot of bad things happen to them. But then you've got the other side of the fence where people are just like, oh, no, fuck them kind of thing.
It's crazy. And I was, same here. Like, I was never aware of the treatment of Native Americans until like late high school. They never showed anything bad about Native Americans, about the treatment towards them. And actually 2 days ago, we saw this movie on Apple TV Plus, and I don't know what the movie's called, but it's with Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's about the history. Yeah, it's good. I haven't finished it yet, but it's about Native Americans. In that moment, while playing that movie, I was like, oh my God, I just realized I've never seen a movie about Native Americans. Like, mainstream movie, Native Americans, I've never seen that. Slavery, plenty of that. There's a lot of slavery stuff, but Native Americans, like, people just ignore that. I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
So, wow, it's crazy.
I didn't know much about Native American history until I binge watched, oh my gosh, I've just forgotten the name of it. It's not even an American series. It is Scottish, Outlander. I binge watch Outlander. And there is it's about 17th century Scotsmen, or the Scottish people, back when they were trying to fight for independence from the British. And it's kind of like a time travel series, really great. And they feature a part of it when America got independence from the British. And I don't want to give too much away because there's people who might not have seen it, but they do talk a little bit about the treatment of the Native Americans when the British came. And I had no idea that it was the British that were in America first, and then, it was separated. I didn't know any of that until I watched Outlander. Yeah. Wow. So, and then it reminded me a lot of what happened in Australia. And that was like, a couple of, I don't know how long after, but yeah, it kind of seems to be a reoccurring issue.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fascinating how entertainment can actually teach us more than a history class can. Because like you said, countries like to hide the bad parts of our history.
Yeah. All right. Any other assumptions?
Yes. Homes are full of spiders and snakes.
Yes and no. It depends on where you live, but definitely in I wouldn't even say rural areas. Like my dad lives in my hometown. It's like a coastal town on the beach, but there's a lot of bushland, so like trees and grass and things like that. And he has a snake that just hangs out in like, that's not a pet snake, it's like a wild snake. And he has lots of other like birds and insects and lizards and everything. You wouldn't see that in the middle of a city, but anywhere that there's nature, yeah, you'll definitely see those things. Spiders, you can kind of everywhere. Lizards, yeah, I think lizards too. Snakes, not so much, more bush areas. But yeah, you do see them everywhere.
Does your dad try to kill them? Like, does it like to protect his house? Does he have like any kind of repellent to get rid of that?
No, so he does have a pet cat, but no, the snake's not dangerous, and he likes to keep it there because it eats rats. So and nice. There's a lizard, a water dragon, that he feeds blueberries to, and this dragon is so demanding that if my dad's sitting on his like back porch eating fruit, it'll come and nudge his feet because it wants fruit.
Wow.
And this is like this wild animal. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
And then there's all the birds and stuff too. But yeah, spiders, there's lots of different varieties of spiders. Some are dangerous, some are not. It's hard to know sometimes which ones are which.
Wow. Me growing up in the city, when I live in the suburbs, and like 10, we'll say 14 years ago, it was cornfields and cotton fields and all this. And now, no, it's all gone. But when they were doing the construction, we had a lot of issues with the animals coming into people's homes. So, but yeah, I can't relate. Especially, how about this? Since you mentioned the birds. Okay, your dad's home. You wake up in the morning. Are you able to hear like the beautiful bird songs? Like,
yeah,
is it annoying? Annoying squawking.
They are quite nice, but where I used to live, we had a crow problem. So it was like every damn morning. And like when I used to work from home, or if it was on weekends, you could hear one of the neighbors in like the next apartment block, and she would be out there with a stick hitting the tree trying to stop the crows because they were all day cawing.
Oh my gosh, nah, yeah, that's why I don't like nature. I don't like. Okay, for vacation we're cool, like it's all good, but living there, I can't do it. I cannot.
yeah. So no, yeah, those are true assumptions actually. Yeah. So what you've heard, they are pretty true. Next question: wildest Aussie slang that you've heard or come across? One where you were just like, what on earth?
Yeah, actually, I want to start off with the one I love, like my favorite one. I actually use it. I'm not even Australian. I use this because it just sounds so cute. Like ever since I heard it, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna use that. And it's brekkie.
Well, I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why, because you said it's cute, and everyone says brekkie is cute. It is though. I love it, brekkie.
It's so cute. I also love that. So I'm like, Mom, like, what's for brekkie? Did you eat some brekkie? I don't know what I'm saying. She doesn't know what I'm saying. Like breakfast. That's how you know, mommy.
Love it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Another one. I heard it. I was like so confused. Like, why are you talking about a doll? What do you mean? And it's the Barbie. The Barbie. Like what? Yeah, the Barbie.
Like, yes.
Yeah, Barbie. Yeah. I still know like it's a Barbie, you know? But yeah, I was confused when I first heard it.
Yeah, actually that's a pretty common issue because people only really know Barbie dolls. So yeah.
Right. And others just like I literally chat GPT'd these and I have no idea if they're common. I'm curious if you use them. By the way, do you use brekkie and Barbie? Do you use those in daily life?
Yeah, super common.
Chockers. I don't know what that is. Chockers.
Oh, chockers, to be really full or busy. So like, for example, maybe you go to the beach and the car park, or what do you say parking lot, don't you? Parking lot? Yeah, the car park. So maybe the car park is full of cars and you'd be like, oh my God, the car park is chockers today. Like it's just really full. Yeah. So you could say chockers or chock-a-block. Both mean really full, but chockers is common.
Chock-a-block. You know, if you said chock-a-block to me, I would be like, oh, like I would think it's a cutting board for cooking. Like, didn't you get that at the grocery store? I don't know. Okay. And what about sanga? Sanga.
So sanger is kind of short for a sandwich, but we really only use it when we're talking about a sausage sizzle or a sausage sandwich. So what it is, it's like one piece of bread with one single sausage, and you fold it up and you have like grilled onions and tomato sauce, ketchup on it. And it's really common for like different organizations or schools or like sporting associations to put on these fundraisers. It's called a sausage sizzle. And all it is, it's just like raising money, buying really cheap sausages and bread from the supermarket, and you're selling them for like $2 each. And then it's a way for them to raise money for their organization. So we would normally call that a sausage sanger. I think originally back in the day, or like maybe my parents' age, our generation, they used sanger for all sandwiches, but you don't really hear it used for all sandwiches now. When I hear sanger, I assume it's a sausage sanger.
Oh, but it sounds like a hot dog. You said sausage, bread, fold it like your hand looked like a taco.
Yeah, so kind of, but instead of it being like a hot dog bun, it's just a single square piece of bread, and then it's just folded up like a taco. Yeah.
Oh, that's like the hot dog I would have if I was too like out of hot dog bread. I was like, I just use a sliced bread. It's like it's like a poor people food. Just like just grab it and just put it in there, and then it's a fake hot dog. Oh wow, sanga,
yeah,
sanga.
Yeah, nice one.
Oh, and I actually learned this from my student. He lived in Australia and he told me about this. I'm like, what's that? And he showed me a video. I was like, oh, wow. Bogan. A bogan.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like your version of a redneck.
Yeah, right. Is that that like an insult if you call someone a bogan?
Yeah. What about redneck? Is that kind of like an insult if you call someone a redneck?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a bit hard. I think like some people, if like they would call themselves a bogan and it's quite funny. Or and you have the really broad Australian accent, which is like, g'day, how you going kind of accent, which people associate with bogans. So your dog.
Oh my God.
Cute. Oh, yeah. So it's a hard one. I normally tell my students just don't say it out loud because you just don't know if you can insult someone or not. It's a bit of a tricky one because you'll hear people say it like real casually, but being a foreigner, people might take offensive for foreigners using it. Yeah, I wouldn't call someone a bogan to their face down the street or anything.
No, but would you like use it in conversation with your friends? Like, oh, you know, like this guy, like, he's like a kind of a bogan, and yeah, same here. Like redneck, like, oh, this redneck guy just walked up to me and like, what?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so private conversations, but in the workplace and like in public, probably not.
Right. Makes sense. I have no idea what a sticky beak is.
Oh, I love sticky beak. Okay. So this is great. It can be used as a verb, or I think it's an adjective as well. So basically it's someone being a bit nosy. So as a verb, it's like, I don't know, maybe you're kind of, I'm looking towards the balcony because my balcony window's right there. I'm looking outside. So let's say like some new neighbors were moving in and I was looking down over my balcony to see what they were doing, and I was just kind of watching them or being a bit nosy, like, oh, what are they doing? That's me having a sticky beak. I'm kind of like just kind of putting my nose into someone else's business or just being nosy about something. So yeah, you can call someone a sticky beak, or you can just say, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just having a sticky beak at this new book. I'm just having a look at it. Yeah, I love it. I use it all the time.
Oh, no way. Oh my God, that's so crazy. If you said that, I would be like, sticky beak. And I'm sure you have like this big beak, a toucan. Like, and then it's like,
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah. So that's what that means. Yeah. So that's also pretty common too. So ChatGPT was pretty correct with these ones.
Love that. But like, are these new or are they all like kind of like from a long time ago?
Yeah, they are actually. So like I grew up with all of these words.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know how fast y'all slang gets like updated, but for us in the United States, updated every year. Like there's always a new set of slang. I'm like, what? Like, you know, Riz, you probably heard about Riz. Like, I learned about that last year. I'm like, oh my God. And then all these other ones like on God. And then like, what is this? from
Yes.
I was just in high school like yesterday, and you guys like all came up with all this new set, a whole dictionary of slang.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, every year. Like Macquarie Dictionary is Australia's national dictionary. It's kind of like the Cambridge Dictionary of Australia. And every year they release like a long list and a short list at the end of the year of new slang that's come out, to bring out a word of the year. And the word of 2023 was cosy lives, which is a play on words of cost of living. So like, oh, I can't afford to go out this weekend for breakfast, cosy live the cosy live situation, cost of living situation.
It's like, who's Cosy? Like, I would think it's a name. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but also cosy in some parts of Australia is a slang word for like bathers, swimsuit, bikini, anything like that. So like
bathers. Oh my God. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like I have to get my cozies for the beach this weekend.
I need to prepare. I need to take a class before I go to Australia. Wow.
Yeah. But like during COVID, so many new slang words came out. So Rona, short for coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
Rona.
The Rona. Same. The Rona.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the Rona.
Yeah. ISO, going into isolation.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think jab means? Jab.
Like this, you jab, like a punch.
Not quite a punch, but it's not far off an action. It means to get a needle. So like usually the vaccine, like I'm getting the COVID jab this weekend, I'm getting the flu jab. Yeah. Actually that was already around before COVID, but COVID obviously made it more pronounced.
True. Oh,
Trying to get COVID jab 4 times. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, right. So it became more commonly used during that situation. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So every year there's just new words coming out. It's wild.
It is so wild. It's so wild. Social media helps out with that a lot. Without social media, I don't know if there would be any slang without social media. I don't know.
I know. It's definitely added to it. All the tech slang is like a whole new world. All right. So that's all we're going to chat about today. But before we wrap up, how can people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about American English or what you do?
Oh, for sure. So definitely connect with me on Instagram. That's the best way to connect with me, at Speak On with Hanna. Hanna without an H at the end. And on there, you can DM me, tell me what you want to do. If you want to get started with private lessons, if you want to join my group lessons. I also have a subscription, which you can find in my bio on my Instagram page. If you need help with anything, just DM me. I'm super friendly. I love having conversation. That's like my favorite thing to do. I love talking. So don't be a stranger. Just join the Speak On community.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I will be putting all of Hanna's details in the description anyway. So I know that you have a YouTube channel, so I'll put that link in there, your Instagram and all of those bits and pieces. If you have any questions for Hanna, drop them in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much, Hanna, for being the first guest on Chinwag Tuesdays.
Love having a chinwag with you. I love it, Amanda. Thank you so much.